Good morning. Oh dear. So I wanted to jump on and talk about our day yesterday. Well, basically the day before as well, since Kenny and Stephen came up from the Polar Bear Club. Wow, it was what we did on the Friday night, whatever night it was, the night they arrived, Tuesday night. Kenny said, would you like to do a wee ice ceremony, sound bowls, gong? Of course, I absolutely love the bowls and the gongs. Said that would be wonderful. You go into a meditation and then they come in and take you out kind of one by one into the ice. So we weren't really 100% sure how it was going to go. You went in for long, just like a couple of minutes, and so it was interesting because I was like doing the meditation, the music, the gong. It was just lovely, and then next thing I get picked. So you're taken out of this beautiful state and out into the ice. But it's the psychology of it that fascinates me more than anything, because what Kenny did on the ice ceremony was he just basically held both your hands and literally, so you're in the ice, he's holding your hands and he's just talking to you, because that's the first time I've ever been packed in ice. I mean, it's not the first time I've been cold. It's been -4 here and I've been in the ice. It's not that the ice is new to me. I've snowboarded in really cold places. I've sailed in very cold places. I've been miserable with the cold before in nature. But actually having the ice right round your body was quite a different experience. However, and obviously almost from the minute you get in, you're thinking about when you're getting out. And that was no different. But anyway, because he's chatting to you and just talking you through it, and kind of like having your own personal trainer, that one-to-one thing, explaining to you that of course you can do it. He's very, very confident and very, very passionate about what the power of sitting in the ice like that can do. And then you get taken out, come back in here. I've got the big fire on, obviously, and at the Polar Bear Club, they've got a sauna. And when you come out of the ice, they put hot water bottles on you, cover you with blankets, and then there's a kind of phase that you do into the sauna. You don't come straight out the cold into the ice. Morning, Michael, how you doing? What a couple of days we've had, my God. So, but anyway, I came back in here and then I started shaking. But that's not unusual to me either. I've surfed sometimes and come out and been shaken like a leaf for quite some time. So the shaking wasn't particularly new, but it was quite interesting to have it so controlled. Anyway, I was up by the fire, that was fine. We all felt amazing after it, went to bed, job done. Then yesterday it was the tent. This is what we get told. And this is the other interesting thing. If I'd said to any of that group, right, you're going to sit in the ice for 10 minutes, they would have been like, no, I'm not. I'm not even going to try. But this air of authority from somebody who really, truly has studied hypothermia for the last 2 years. I think the Polar Bear Club, they've just been training, working with people and, very interested in people with addictions, but really it's the mind. And I talk about this all the time, that what the mind, the body follows the mind. So anybody that's plagued by their negative thoughts and plagued, it doesn't matter whether it's alcohol, shopping, gambling, sex, it doesn't really matter. It's how can we quieten this voice in the head? And the ice allows you to kind of separate the two things. So anyway, and there's one tank, so it's one person at a time. It's 14 of us here yesterday. So there's that kind of trepidation of waiting. And I was actually really nervous. I've not had butterflies in my stomach for years. I was trying to think the last time I was that nervous. I couldn't really understand why, because obviously my conscious mind's what are you nervous about? You know you'll do it. You know you'll, 10 minutes in the ice, because I do short times. I don't stay in for long. That's my personality. I go in, I get cold, I sit, I feel the ease, and I get out. So 2 to 3 minutes. Anyway, so sitting in it for 10, and then these resets, the things they call resets, so you're holding on to the side and then you duck your head under and come back up. And you do 1, and then you do 3. I don't know what I was doing, but I was coming up with ice cubes in my mouth. And so you do 3, and then you stop again. And the whole idea is that you're controlled. And then you do 6. So that was the goal. 10 minutes in the ice and 10 of these resets. And on the night before, he'd put us under at the start of the kind of few minutes and then at the end. So, I mean, it wasn't that big a deal. Morning, Sean. How are you, darling? You feeling better? So, yeah, but psychologically, so John, our chef, he did it first, right? Now, John is like a son to me. I love him so much. And I was watching him in there doing and I was like, oh my God. So 10 minutes watching somebody, and I've got obviously built up the story in my head about what 10 minutes is going to be like. Really interesting, because I'm teaching people how to break through the fear, walk through the fear, don't listen to the mind, blah, 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 blah. And here I am watching him, and then I'm egging him on, you know, like, oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Sean, darling. I'll see you at the festivals, hopefully. So, yeah, and then the resets. And, you know, you are seeing people pushed, you know, maybe not quite to the max, but certainly pushed. So I was kind of coming back in, because it turns out sitting in the ice is one thing. And then what happens when you get this shake afterwards? Oh my God, that is hilarious. So anyway, I came in and then John's cousin, another friend from here, Lindsay, she went in next. And yeah, so she did 1, I can't remember exactly what it was, but then she was like that. She was going to get out, and then she went, no, I'm disappointed in myself. And she actually went back and did another 3. But then was literally like, there is not a possibility that this body can do it. She pushed herself right to that place. And remember, you're in this tank. It's not really that easy to get out, although they help you. You can get out. Getting out's not a problem, but you're kind of like, because you're a wee bit in like, get me out of here. So then she got out. By this time, I'm like, oh my God, I want to get this over and done with. So anyway, I'm coming back in, and the 2 of them are in here, and they are shaking. We've got the fire stoked up to the max. It's like a sauna in here. It's so hot. We've got the hot water bottles. We've got the blankets, wrapped them all up, and everybody had laid their stuff out in their wee bit, but we had every single sleeping bag blanket over them. And yeah, just like kind of really, it's quite weird, the shake. So anyway, and then it came to my turn, and I went in, and I was like, right, shut up, get in. And I just sit. I'm like, you're hot. Wim Hof can do it, I can do it. What are you moaning about? Just stay. I've been doing a lot of meditation since Reverend Joe's class. So I'm like, just stay in the body. And then I just start chatting to Kenny. And we start talking about the Titanic project and all this. And so before I know it, the 10 minutes is up. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I was happy to get out of there. Well, I was going to be happy to get to the end of the 10 minutes. But it wasn't as bad as obviously these things usually aren't. As Kenny says, just think of the obstacle as the ice. And what tends to happen is we build these things so much up in our head that we don't do it. Anyway, I had no option because you're leading the retreat. So it's quite a bit of pressure on me. Anyway, and then it's the resets, right? So I've never done that before. But I know that it's quite challenging. So then, but then there was a step inside. And when I was trying to get down, I was hitting the steps. So by this time I'm a wee bit like, I just want this to be over with. So you're holding on, you go back down. And the idea is you breathe in, and you go under, and you breathe out. And they would like to see the bubbles, and then you come back up again. So it should be nice and controlled. And they've got 100 club for people that can do over 100. Well, I tell you what, respect. Anyway, do that, do 11, obviously, because you've got to just break the barrier a little bit and then come out. Now, I know by this time that's only 20% of the challenge. I come in here, and by this time, John's kind of coherent again, and he's takes over. He's got me all wrapped up, and I start shaking. And of course, the shaking is super powerful for the trauma release. But I'm laughing hysterically. It was the same with the Friday night. I just started laughing and laughing and laughing. Look at the sunrise. Can you see if I turn this around? Can you see the pink? It's so beautiful. So, yeah, so I'm shaking, and they put the hot water bottles that do not feel hot. I can't feel a thing, right? And I'm like, did you put ice in these hot water bottles? And they're just all laughing, right? Because now they're out the other side of this. So I was doing it. My teeth are actually like a wee kid, which is exactly what you want, because the body's like that now, taking over. You're on that automatic response, shake, 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 as the body. This Kenny said the night before, when you start shaking like that, I know you're fine, and I'm no giving a shit about you, basically. Your body knows what to do, and I love that, the total autonomy. But that was the other thing, because I thought, if he's sitting holding your hands, that's going to make it easier. But of course, when you get in the ice for the 10 minutes, you put your hands under here and you sit. He doesn't hold your hands, but don't get me wrong, he's right there. And that's hugely helpful, hugely helpful, just that. And that was really interesting as well for me, because I'm so independent. I can do it myself. It's fine. But the comfort of having this strong, big polar bear right there. And Stephen as well, just an absolute beautiful man, holding the space, holding it for us. You can do this. I mean, if you ever doubted the power of the collective for doing this work, it was there clearly. So anyway, so I am shaking. And then when I close my eyes, I'm tripping. I'm like, and it was a really, it's so difficult to describe it. You have to try it, because it's not really, I didn't even really get any real pain. I thought I would get pain in the ice because I never put shoes on, so my feet were fine. I could feel a wee bit around my hands, but so it wasn't really any pain in the ice. It was more my mind, I have to say. My body's pretty well trained. But then the shake, and as I say, I've shook before, but nothing like that. And this is the trauma response. So you just lie down, and there's nothing you can do about it. And of course, Lindsay, John kind of left by the time I came in. Because he had to go and make breakfast. And I'd been laughing the night before. I'm like, you're not going to be making any breakfast, because it's happened to me before when I've had to go and cut hair, and I've had to just sit in the salon and say, I'm sorry, you need to wait until the shaking stops because you can't hold scissors. But this was next level shaking. And then Lindsay was laughing because, of course, she's coming out, and it's very funny when it stops, very funny when you see other people doing it. So, but I had this real euphoria feeling, like drugs, just like, whoa. And then, of course, then I start to, and then I'm sitting in front of the fan, and then I couldn't feel anything warm. And then I could feel, somebody had like an electric blanket they put on top of me. And then I started to feel the heat in the blanket, and I knew I was, right, my hands are starting to work again. So it's a kind of controlled hypothermia. And I was like, right, okay, I'm starting to come out of it. But it came in waves. I thought I was calm, and then it would just again. And that happened quite a few times. Me and my pal Gaynor, we were her and I were, she was the one before me, so we were just laughing. And then you've like, it's a bit like, we're never doing that again. And then you're like that, getting that euphoria going, my God, what an experience. What an experience. It's just, yeah, you absolutely have to try it, and go and try it with these guys, because they just make you feel so safe. Because the other thing, I was talking to my friend Moira about it afterwards. I said, isn't it interesting that he just said, we're doing 10 minutes and your goal is 10 resets. Now, not everybody did the 10 resets, but everybody did at least one. So respect. 10 minutes sitting in the tank with your monkey mind. And also, it's just, again, we're pushing through these barriers. We just smashed so many barriers yesterday. Totally smashed them. We had a breath work in here in the morning that was absolutely off the scale, and I've been doing a lot of breath work. Teaching yesterday I could feel the power in the room. And it's lovely having men in here, you know, that really, there's just it changes energy, really incredibly powerful. And then, of course, to do that, people were just like, and then last night we just did a bit of chanting, singing, getting the voice, the power of the voice, the power of the energy that we can create when we sing and we chant. So it really was. And then by kind of 8 o'clock last night, I was just like, I feel like I've done a full workout. We're all obviously feeling so chuffed with ourselves. Thanks, Ellen. We're also, like, I knew the minute I came out that tank, I could do more. I knew it. I knew I could have done more resets, but I didn't really want to. I was talking to John about it. I said, you could have done more too, couldn't you? What if Kenny had said the goal's 15? You know, this is the thing that really, the psychology of it. And that's the beauty of going with other human beings. Because I was saying, I wonder if he hadn't given us any time frame, any goals, and just sat you nice and said you can get out whenever you want. What would we have all done? When would we have got out? And, you know, and I think, obviously Wim Hof, I mean, the Polar Club, they've got all sorts of world records. I think one of theirs has been, I mean, they're right up there with what they're doing. These guys are pushing the boundaries and what's possible for the human body, because that's ultimately what it comes down to. It's you thinking you can't do something, and then it turns out you can do it because you were told you couldn't do it. And then the Titanic experiment, which I'm going to get Kenny back on to talk about, you know, they say, 90 seconds you'll die if you fall in the cold water. So they put them out there, the Coast Guards, etc., to show, no, that's not true. If you understand, if you have if somebody tells you you'll die in 90 seconds, then that's likely to what happens, because you'll think, I've been in here 90 seconds yet, and the fear will kill you. And it's the exact same when you get a diagnosis, you're terminal. It's the fear. And what I love about this is like pushing through these barriers. Every single person that was here, I'll tell you, the day before, they would never have dreamt that they could have done that. And they did. They did it with grace. There was tears. So what? You cried. A lot of that was about the fear of failure. What if I fail? So what? You still tried. The psychology around it blowing my mind. And then I was thinking, what if he'd said 15 minutes and 15 resets? Would we have done that? Who knows? So absolutely phenomenal experience. We were all so incredibly happy last night, and so much, I don't know, it was, as I say, it's one of these feelings, a bit like breath work. You can tell people you need to try this. You need to try this. And they probably won't try because there's such a big lump of fear. What happens when we break through the story, break through the resistance, break through the labels and the concepts? You know, and I repeat this story often about being in Sedona, Arizona, learning to let go. It can be really sad letting your story go. I could see that yesterday, letting go of the story that I'm dying, maybe very soon. Let that story go. Why would you be sad letting that go? Because you've suffered so much, and to find out that what you've suffered through wasn't true. You know, that I'm weak and I'm a victim and I have this label, and I know who I am now, and I know, and then it's just like, no, no, you're not. Let it go. It's like, no, but what? Where's my identity? When I let go of that story, let go of the labels, let go of the concepts. It takes courage. Do not ask me why it takes courage to believe you can heal. I've got no idea. But what I do know from going to Sedona, the other side of the world, to learn how to let go, is people pay thousands to go there and they won't let go. Now that ice, you've got no option. No option. And you sit there and you have to face you. Kenny's very clear about that. It's not about him. And I'm the same with the breath work and the letting go. It's not about me. It's about you seeing how powerful you are and breaking through the mind and the chatter. Excuse me, what are you saying? It's you against you. You against you. Hi, Susan. So, yeah, so Kenny's going to be coming to speak at the festivals. He does not just do addiction work. You might have seen the recording I did, the short recording I did yesterday morning of his story, which has been hell. He's so honest. And that's the other thing that he really reminded me about the 12-step program and about the book, and the steps that you go through. You can tell people that do the program, that do the 12 steps, you can tell because they own their own shit. There is something in them you can feel, not feel like, oh my God, they were an alcoholic or whatever label you want to give them, which can be, I don't like that language because I just see what they've achieved, what they've come up against, and they've done the work. Because regardless of what you're doing, the work's the thing. Whether it's ice, whether it's breath work, whether it's letting go, whether it's nutrition, whether it's whatever it is you're doing. There's lots of brilliant things out there that you can do it. But see if you do work way through the 12 steps. I've not done it yet. And I really do need to do it because you can tell. It's like my friends that teach me about the Bible. They have this thing that you want, a stillness, a seeing that we should all have. We should all be doing that book, regardless, because everybody, and I would say that in my experience, and I've been entrenched in this work for the last 9 weeks, watching people, the addiction to the story and the addiction to the past is huge. And addiction to blame, shame, complain, and the hormones of stress. And it doesn't work. So it's not me going, don't be so bloody pathetic and shut up going on about your parents and God knows who all else. Because I know there's been severely horrific things have happened to people and kids. And we know that. But now where do we go from here? And I could see that yesterday at the ice. And, the people that have come in the Wild Energy, mate, you need to be pretty... probably fairly brave to come in one of my retreats. I'll just be honest about that because you need to go where you've probably not gone before, looking at yourself, letting go. And I'm going to boot you right up the ass because I know how powerful you are. I know the capacity inside you. And this week I was saying to people, so if we believe there's an innate intelligence that made this body, right? You never made it. The intelligence did. Now, whether you believe in a creator or not, something made you, and it wasn't you. But somewhere along the line, we have bought into a story that the innate intelligence isn't as intelligent within us as it is in everybody else. I mean, what a lot of bollocks. That innate intelligence is just there. And we can choose or not. Well, I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. But I'm not worthy because all the stuff that happened in the past. Drop it. Drop all limiting beliefs, drop all the labels and concepts and step forward to the rest of your life. That's what we're teaching. That's what Vida B's teaching. That's what Kenny's teaching. All of it is about that. We need to let go of the past. Why? Because it causes more suffering for us and everybody around you. Because if you're suffering, trust me, it affects the whole inner circle and the outer circle because that vibration goes into the field. Now, I watched The Source yesterday for the 9th time. I never actually thought, I'll get bored. Surely by now I'm going to get bored watching this. No. I see something different. And do you know what I saw yesterday? So they have the people that are meditating, and then they have the control group, which is the partners of the people that are meditating that are just sitting out round the pool. Their exosomes increased 45%, and the control group that were doing nothing increased 5%. They weren't even engaged. But the way I saw that was they were affected by the whole. Anyway, that's my guys arriving. We're starting our day now. So I just wanted to jump on. Huge, huge gratitude to the Polar Bear Club. Get yourselves along there. I'm going to be coming when I get back to do some breath work there. And yeah, we need to get these all over the place. Have a wonderful day and I'll chat to you soon. Ciao.